Chipped ham and football. That's what Pittsburgh does. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the show. Brian Batko with you, as always, one of your Steelers beat writers from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Got a good one coming up today. We're going to have on one of the Steelers rookies of the 2025 draft class, sixth-round pick, quarterback Will Howard, the national championship winning quarterback from the Ohio State Buckeyes this past season in college football. Talk a little bit about the community service he and the other rookies are jumping into this week in Pittsburgh. Talk a little bit of his minicamp experience, and who knows what else we'll get into. If you've seen any of Will's media interviews, appearances on various platforms, he's an entertaining guy, fun to talk to, good insight. So looking forward to that. And as always, show is brought to you by Pella. There's no better place to get new windows and doors installed in your home than from Pella. They can help you save on your energy costs year-round. Schedule a free in-home consultation with your local Pella Windows and Doors to find the right product for your home and your budget. Give them a call at 866-593-1560 to discuss your project further. That's 866-593-1560 to get started planning your new windows and doors installation with Pella Windows and Doors of Pittsburgh. We'll be right back on the other side with Will Howard. All right, there he is now, Steelers rookie quarterback Will Howard. Will, thanks a bunch for doing this, man. I know it's been a busy few weeks for all of you guys, but especially the rookies. So do appreciate you taking some time to come on here.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me on. It's good to be here.
Yeah. First off, I know this week is
it's rookie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You got me?
Okay, wait.
Or is it like delayed?
Yeah, it was like cutting out.
Okay. Well, first off, Will, I know this week it's Rookie Community Week with the Steelers. Yesterday, you were at Charlie Batch's Best of the Batch Foundation. Today, you're going down to Urban Impact on the north side for football camp. Wednesday to the Mel Blount Youth Home way down in Claysville. Basically a way for all the young new Steelers to see what it's like to give back with an NFL platform and the culture the Steelers want to establish as an organization, right? And one that has a Walter Payton Man of the Year on the team and Cam Hayward. Is that kind of how it's explained to you guys?
Yeah, from the start here, it was drilled into us that community work is big. And, DY said it, Coach Tomlin said it, everybody from the top down said, we're a community-based team and we're going to give back. We're going to be in the community. We're going to be around all these people, Steelers Nation. And I really love it. It's something that I really looked forward to when I thought about coming to the NFL and thought about having this platform is, giving back, just because I remember, being a young kid at these camps or, at this camp that we're going to do today. Like I remember being that young kid that looked up so much to those NFL players and those professional athletes that, they came to give back. And I just want to be able to do that, for someone else and kind of pay it forward.
Granted, you were doing it on the other side of the state, I guess, back in that day. Were there any particular players that you went to their camps or anything like that sticks out to you?
Oh man, I think I remember going to some I don't know if it was a camp, but it was some event held by Brian Dawkins. I remember going up to Penn State as a kid, meeting some of the college athletes, and then just going to baseball games, going to to the Eagles, training camp and stuff like that, getting stuff signed by these guys and how much it meant to me as a young kid. I just remember that feeling. And it's like, as insignificant as signing a ball for a little kid may be, for us, for them, it means the world. And, I try to not forget that perspective and try to have that perspective. And it makes doing this way more enjoyable when you realize how much of an impact you're having on these kids and everybody that we're impacting.
Yeah, that's a good point. It takes, 2 minutes for you guys to sign some autographs, but they'll be telling their family about it for who knows how long. So yeah, I know you grew up in Eagles country out there. I was actually just out your way last weekend. Went to family to King of Prussia Mall. Sesame Place, Please Touch Museum in the city.
Right,
so
Fairmount Park there. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been to all those places, man. I'm like 20 minutes from the King of Prussia. I went to the Please Touch Museum all growing up, so that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun time. But I know it was a fun time too yesterday with you guys. I was there in Homestead, Munhall at Charlie Batch's foundation. You want to kind of tell people a little bit about what you guys were doing with the kids. You were pretty much science teachers, or maybe more like science students, for a
Yeah.
day, designing an egg drop contraption, I guess would be the best way to put it. And I know it was funny. We were I was talking to Micaiah from Steelers PR there, and she was wondering why your team, most of the team names that you guys came up with, like there were 2 Steelers rookies per kid, and they were mostly egg puns. You guys were you want to just tell people what did your kids come up with for your team?
They came up with the Will Goats. So there's a little girl in our group, Amaya, and she I guess was a big fan and wanted to call us the Will Goats, the Will Howard Goats. So
Yeah, Micaiah from the Steelers was like, "Oh, he's the only. Why would he name it after himself?" I'm like, "No, I actually was eavesdropping a little around the group."
It wasn't me. I wasn't the one that
Yeah.
named it. I said I'll leave it up to you guys, and that's what they came up with. So.
And you were getting a lot of questions from those kids. There might have been some aspiring reporters there. Every time I walked by your table, while you were multitasking, building the egg drop challenge thing, they were asking you about, your draft weekend, winning the national championship, playing at Ohio State. So it was cool to see the engagement. And do you want to brag a little bit about the thing that you guys designed?
Oh yeah, man. It was a really fun day, getting to go over there and, kind of bringing out our childhood energy again with something like that, the egg drop. It's something I did something similar to that. I remember like in high school, dropping an egg from a balcony and seeing how we can, take these kind of junk materials and put them together to, make a safe landing for this egg. And
yeah, we were saying it was like chopped. You had like a basket. You had like pipe.
Exactly. We had like the materials.
Yeah,
we had the materials we could use, and then that was pretty much it. So it
even
was
at
like
the end when they were counting you down, they had the timer. They were like, "All right, 3, 2, 1, hands off." So
Yep.
it was a lot.
It was a real. It felt like we were on the Food Network, like for real. It was fun though. We had fun, and like you said, my group was fired up, and they were asking a lot of questions, and so it turned it into me playing, kind of the question answer, and JJ Galbraith ended up doing a lot of the actual construction. So
the undrafted tight end, right? South Dakota, JJ Galbraith.
Yep, JJ was doing a lot of he was my partner, so he was doing a lot of the building for me. So I appreciate him for that. And we did, not to brag or anything, but we did survive the fall. Deshaun and Gabriel, the guys that the young kids that we were paired up in a group with, and then India and Amaya, Deshaun and Gabriel went up. We sent them up, and they were the ones that wanted to drop it, so they dropped it, and they did a great job, and our egg was safe. So it was pretty fun.
I wasn't keeping stats like it was, a Steelers-Ravens game in December or anything, but I was paying attention, and I think if there were like 8 groups of you guys, I would say maybe 6 of them survived, and we don't have to out the Steelers rookies whose groups didn't make it, but it was a pretty high percentage. So I would give you guys good. I wouldn't know what I was doing. I'm a 34-year-old grown man, so I give you guys.
It took some creativity for sure, but it was funny because the loudest groups seemed to be the ones that didn't survive the fall. You know what I mean? And if you were there, you know what I'm saying. The ones that were talking the most ended up breaking. So I just thought that was just a little bit of justice.
And before you guys got the building, you rookies got to shoot around a little bit, and I did see some Will Howard step back threes. I saw some corner jumpers that looked pretty pure. I mean, I guess it. And I'm kind of like a polar bear in the desert growing up in Pittsburgh because basketball is my favorite sport. Couldn't care less about hockey. But anytime now the Steelers draft somebody and I'm kind of doing my research, usually like to see if they've got hoops in their background. I'll try to pull up the YouTube highlights, pull up the huddle. I mean, I was impressed, not just by the jumper form, but a few dunks in your Downingtown days as well.
Back in my heyday, man, I was I played a little ball. I hooped a little bit, so I was a 1,000-point scorer back in high school. Played a little stretch 4, but yeah, man, it was actually the first time I came out here to Pittsburgh was for the Hoop Group Jam Fest.
I remember. Was that at the convention center then, or was that before that?
It was at the convention center, yeah. So I went there. I think it was like my 7th and 8th grade years. I went there 2 years in a row, and I had a good time. It was a blast. And I remember that was the first time I went on like the Duquesne incline, and obviously spent a lot of time at the convention center, and then I think I went to like a Pirates game too, and I was like, man, this city's pretty damn cool. Like I didn't realize how awesome it was, so Yeah, man, I got a little hoops background in me, and it was fun. We got to shoot around a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I know Jack Sawyer does too. Jack was he's
yeah.
actually got the like real YouTube highlight if you
He
pull it up.
does. Yeah, I don't have like anything crazy like that. I think I got some huddle stuff up there somewhere. You got to dig a little bit, but yeah, Jack was legit. Like Jack, I think probably could have gone and played D1 if he wanted to. So
Really? Division
yeah.
1.
I don't know. You might have to ask him that. I might be piping him up right now, but
Yeah, well, you guys, I don't think there's any basketball activities when you get out to Latrobe in training camp, but there is usually a home run derby. How will you fare in that? Do you have any baseball swing in your bag of tricks?
It's been a while. I played baseball growing up. It was one of my first loves. I was a shortstop back in the day. I was a bigger shortstop, so I liked Derek Jeter, Cal Ripken. They were my guys, my idols when I was younger. But we'll see, man. I played in Cardale Jones' softball game last year, and I hit one out of the park there. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll set my game up this year. It just took me a little while to get warmed up into it. So I stopped playing in like 8th grade, so had to knock the rust off a little bit. But that sounds fun. That'd be sweet.
Well, I'm pretty sure Justin Fields won it last year, and Kenny
keep the
won it
quarterback
the year before that. So they're on a little bit of a quarterback
Hmm.
hot streak. Not to put any pressure on you
man.
or Mason or Skylar Thompson or another guy that I wanted to ask you about, Aaron Rodgers, now that he's
Yep.
in the building. And he told us on Tuesday, and I know you've talked about this as well. He told us on Tuesday that, yeah, first day in the meeting room, he finds himself sitting next to the rookie at his position group, Will Howard. He's like, I don't know if it's going to be that way the whole week. Was it that way the whole week? Were you next to Aaron the whole time? And is that a kind of a continuing relationship that'll go on in training camp now too?
Yeah, man, it was. I don't know what it'll look like in training camp. Who knows? But just for these couple days of mini camp, when we went into the team meeting room for unit meetings, I had an open seat next to me, and there came Aaron, and I just thought it was pretty cool that he was willing to sit next to me. And I remember even day one, he had a couple of things that like we hadn't really gone over yet, but we had gone over it a couple weeks prior, and it wasn't really in writing yet. A couple things he just was asking me for clarification on. And I'm like, holy shit, man! Like Aaron Rodgers is asking me questions right now, like what, and I'm answering. I'm like, what is going on, But it's awesome, man.
15-year-old Will Howard was probably like, if you would have gone back in time and told yourself that.
If you would have told 9-year-old Will Howard watching
Aaron
hold up a Super Bowl trophy that I'd be, telling him what a play is in a couple of years, like you'd be crazy. But no, he's been so awesome to me so far. I mean, obviously we only got to be together for about 3 days, but I got a really good feeling about him and about this whole QB room. I think we already in this past week meshed really well, hit it off. I think we got a good vibe, good group, and Aaron's been just so willing to help me. He's like literally as much or as little as you want me to help you, like I'll be there. He's already given me tips, little things here and there. Even in the meeting room, on the field, in my drops, different little things. Obviously, I can't do the things that he can do mechanically. So I don't want to replicate that too much because that's pretty unique.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I mean, everything that I can learn from that guy is, invaluable. So I'm like, dude, as much as you want to pour into me,
as much or as little, as if you're going to be like, yeah, I'm good right now on this.
No, I'm good. Yeah. No, dude, like I want, everything you can give me. Like I'm going to take everything. And so I'm just excited to watch him work and watch him go about his business and see and take notes on how he, kind of operates, just because he's a legend, man. He's, for growing up for me, it was Brady, it was Peyton, it was Aaron, so it's pretty cool.
For sure. And I know there's a lot of good rapport building there in the quarterback room. Has there been any like surprising interactions with guys from a different position group or even on the defense? Anybody that you've kind of hit it off with early on that you're like, I wouldn't necessarily have expected that, I'd be chatting it up with this guy a lot, or anybody like that who stuck out to you through the 3 weeks of mini camp and OTAs once the vets got back to town?
Yeah, man. Everyone has been really, really good to me. I think DK has been he's quiet, but he's a great guy. He's been super welcoming to everyone. He talks to anyone. He's been really good to me. All the receivers. I think Calvin's a great dude. Scotty, all those older guys that have been around are all super down to earth and willing to talk to me, willing to catch for me, whatever. Pat Freiermuth has been really good for me. He texted me the day I got drafted, was him and Mason were two of the first people that texted me and reached out, and I thought that that meant a lot. That was really
Pat's
cool.
nice to you now. He'll be talking trash to you, Ohio State,
Oh,
Penn State.
I know there's 1 week of this year that I'm gonna have to gear up for, and probably gonna have to make some wagers on that one. But
you've got Big Cam on your side though, at least. So that's
there's no doubt. I got some bargaining power with Cam over on my side, but no, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I know it's been a long time for those Nittany Lions, so we'll see.
I'm a Pitt guy, so you're not you're not ruffling any feathers here, Will. But
no doubt. But
what about the interactions with Mike Tomlin? How has that been so far? I mean, is it more of a coaching you hard? Is it tough love for a rookie? Do you feel like you've got to earn some of the Tomlinisms, or what have you been like thus far with him?
You definitely got to earn it. You got to earn the respect with him, and he definitely tries to dog you a little bit and treat you like a rookie and give you a hard time. But it's all in good fun. And what's that?
Does he have a nickname for you yet or anything?
I think he calls me Sapphire. I don't really know why, but I guess we'll figure that out. And
maybe an explanation that doesn't need to be further explored here on the family show. But that's pretty good. Might have to remember that one.
Yeah, man. So we'll see. I don't know if that one will stick, but no, he's been awesome. He's been really good to me, and he treats me real well. And he's a straight shooter, and he's super fair, and he doesn't treat anyone any differently. It doesn't matter from the top down. He's going to be hard on you. He's going to challenge you. I remember the first rookie mini camp meeting, like he was challenging me, and I love that. I need that. So there he is right there.
That's only going to pick up come Latrobe when the sun's high in the sky. It's hot. Everybody's sweating, but he will somehow be unbothered, and he'll just be barking at you even louder if things go wrong, or praising you if things go well. So
yeah, exactly. But he's fair and he's consistent, and I love that.
What else have you been told to expect for the rest of this rookie community service week? And after that, does it kind of slow down for you, Will? Do you guys get to get a little bit of a break before training camp and go decompress?
Yeah, we get to get out of here for about a month and kind of go, be on our own, be with family. But the understanding is that we're going to come back in the best shape of our lives, and that's a big emphasis, is that we got to continue to stay in shape, continue to work out, show up to Latrobe, making sure that we're ready to roll. So we're gonna get some time. I'm gonna go spend some time with some family, go see my girlfriend, all that stuff, kind of decompress a little bit, get away for a little bit, and we all are. But then we gotta be ready to rock and roll when we get back.
Yeah, and I've been to the Mel Blount Youth Home down in Washington County, PA. It's a little bit of a hike.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be hot and humid and sticky down there. But I'm sure you guys will have a great time talking to those kids. And also another Steelers legend, from Charlie Batch to Mel Blount. So that'll be a cool aspect of it as well.
No doubt, man. I can't wait. It'll be fun.
Well, just the last thing, what have you been told to expect from Latrobe? Not just from a physical perspective, but more of just the living in the dorms, getting a roommate. And we were talking about, we started this by saying, you give an autograph to a kid, it takes you 20 seconds. And for them, it means a lifetime. You will be signing so many autographs. There will be people yelling, Will, 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 from the second you step foot on the grass until they finally make you go back to meetings. How much are you looking forward to that? And what else have players told you about the overall Saint Vincent experience?
I've gotten a lot of, stories on, what it's like. I haven't really heard about what the actual practices are like, and, having the fans there, that's a little different. Obviously in college, we have a couple of open practices really during fall camp or spring ball or whatever, but not that many, and so this will be different, having fans at every practice. I love that. I think it brings more of a competitive spirit. It brings the fans, brings everybody together. I'm excited for it. But yeah, no, I always talk about, camp is when you come together as a team. So I'm really looking forward to, whether it's the rookie show or, late nights, just hanging out in the dorm rooms, like just getting to kind of know these guys, continuing to build these relationships and just getting better, and learning what being a Steeler is all about, because that's what this couple weeks is really for.
Yeah, for sure. And, fans are there, so that adds a little bit of a pressure. Media like myself are there, where we'll be writing, Will Howard was 8 of 10 today and finished the 2-minute drill with a touchdown or a pick. So it does start to, already ramp up those expectations a little bit. And yeah, there's no behind closed doors stuff like when you're in college and, it's all speculation and, reporting and sources said this guy's looking good and that kind of thing. It's all there for everybody who shows up to see. So,
yeah, no doubt.
All right. Well, hey, thanks so much, Will. Really appreciate you jumping on here. I know you guys have another busy day and you've been doing a lot. So thanks to always talking to us when we ask for you after practice and whatnot. And I will see you out at Saint Vincent College in a little over a month. All right, man?
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you having me on, Brian. Good talking to you, man. I'll see you in Latrobe.
See you, Will.
Awesome.
All right, there he goes, Will Howard, Steelers 6th round pick, quarterback that has a lot already in the city, and I think getting a lot of people to find out how likable he is, whether you saw him on the John Gruden show or Hey Rookie and all of that. So appreciate him taking some time for us today on the Chip Tamman Football Show. It was great to get his perspective on, some stuff that goes beyond the game, but also, get that insight on Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers from minicamp. Thanks again to Will Howard, and thanks to Boss Menswear. They have reached icon status for their tailoring, but they offer more than just the perfect suit. The collection also features casual and athleisure pieces, presenting a complete wardrobe for fast-paced modern lifestyles. Tailoring and sportswear are brought together in a look that is ready for whatever your day may hold. Boss is now open at Ross Park Mall with a selection of menswear pieces. So thanks to Boss, and also a shout out, as always, to another sponsor of the show, Goldberg, Persky, and White, mesothelioma and asbestos lawyers. Call them for a free consultation. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma or lung cancer, they've got more than 40 years of experience in the business. Their firms represented thousands of lung cancer and mesothelioma victims. So that's 1-800-COMPLEX, or you can visit gpwlaw.com. I'm Brian Batko. Appreciate you finding us here on the Post-Gazette Sports Network on YouTube, or if you're listening wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back with more shows this week with Chris Carter. I think Ray Fittipaldo's taking a little breather. I'm taking a little breather next week, so you might not hear from me for a while on here. But thanks for following all offseason to this point, and we will catch you soon.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.